Yorkshire are 128 for 4. Still require 85 runs for the remaining 54 deliveries.
Yeah, and we look at the people that have yet to finish off their overs. Amanda Jade Wellington, I think, has got 1 over left, so Georgie Adams will be keeping her back for a specific time in her game plan. Tyson is bowling well from the City end at the moment, and Daisy Gibb is bowling superbly from the rugby stand. And so, you know, you'd think you don't need to change it at the moment, just keep going with Tyson and with Daisy Gibb.
100%.
Some discussion at the moment at the bowler's end. We've got Datani, Tyson and Adams all having a little conversation there.
I was going to say, it's quite the think tank, isn't it, that Hampshire have got, even without those England internationals. So much experience with the likes of Adams, the captain, Datani, of course, Amanda Jade Wellington as well. Here we go then, Tyson getting ready to bowl her 6th over of the run chase. Stair Callis it is, who's on strike. The Dutch international do something special. She pulls that one out towards deep mid-wicket. Should at least be 1, if not 2. I think it will be. Blackwell straight away darts down to the non-striker's end.
Yeah, good running by Blackwell there. Set off for the first one quickly and turned. I still like it to slide her back though, rather than just dink it in.
I completely agree. Those habits, they get built with experience, as Callis this time advances down the track.
I think that was a drop catch. I think that could have been a potential caught and bowled, but Tyson just dropped that one.
And I think the reaction there from Tyson suggests it may have been. It was a difficult opportunity nonetheless. As Callis again opens up the arms, bashes it back down the ground. This time will just be a single for the Yorkshire batter. Moves her on to 42. Blackwell unbeaten on 11 as well. The big thing here though, Jane, is that run rate. It continues to climb, doesn't it?
Yes, and that'll put pressure on them. But they've just literally got to keep going. You know, a couple of boundaries and an over and suddenly you'll be pulling it back. But the key thing is you've got to be there. You can't score them if you're back in the pavilion. And so you've got to just hang around, really. But look, every ball has to go for a single. And if you can, then it goes for a boundary. And there's still too many dot balls.
Oh, that one has gone straight up in the air. This should be a catching chance, and it will be taken. Hampshire get their 5th. Blackwell, the latest Yorkshire batter, to depart. And of course, it's Naomi Datani with the catch. Not the first time we've said that in this game. So the partnership is broken. Yorkshire 131 for 5.
Yeah, that's a shame there. I think the youngster just feeling the pressure and just thinking, I've got to push on a bit here, and didn't get her head over the ball and turned her back to hit it towards leg and ended up just skewing it up on the offside. And if we're looking for somebody who's creative, then Maddie Ward is in now, and she'll be trying to play her reverse shots. You hope that she chooses the right ball to go for those shots, but she's certainly capable of doing that.
Well, she is. She certainly is an innovative character. So far this season, we haven't quite seen the best of Maddie Ward. Scored 19 against Somerset, 20 against Surrey. Scores of 5, 10 and 6 against the Blaze, Durham and Essex, respectively. So this could be a big opportunity just for Maddie to build a little bit of confidence. Did score some very handy runs here last season in the game against Leicestershire. As we know, very good sweeper of the cricket ball, both with the conventional, traditional sweep, as well as the reverse. Straight away, goes for the sweep, directs that very nicely indeed. The spin may take it to the boundary. Instead, And picked up, scooped up with the right hand by Daisy Gibb. Yorkshire batters come home for the second, and that will be the end of the over. Yorkshire 133 for 5 after 30. White Rose require 80 in the remaining 8, and may not be the best mathematician in the world, but even I can tell that is 10 runs and over.
Yes.
Will be Datani on the rugby ground end. Datani so far really has been brilliant from this side of the ground. Let's not forget that her first over of the game from the city end went for 10. Her next 3 have produced 1 wicket for 8 runs. So certainly has been a good change from both the bowler and of course the captain. Conversation that herself and Georgia Adams had a little bit earlier on. It's most definitely had the impact that Hampshire craved. 5-4 field here in favour of the offside. Many fielders, 25-yard circle. Datani it is. Going up first to Stair Callis. Starts off with a dot ball.
You can almost see that Stair Callis is almost trying too hard to win. That probably seems a bit strange, but she's just not flowing. She's just she's trying to put the bat to the ball instead of letting it swing through and just connect and time it well.
That one a full toss, biffed back down the ground by Callis. Take one heck of an effort as Wellington got there.
She did get there, but as it came out of her hand, it just hit the rope and rolled along the rope. So boundary there to Callis.
Yeah, that's good as well from Wellington, upholding the spirit of the game there. Straight away, just signalling that the 4 had been scored. So Callis now moves on to 46. Oh, that is a brilliant riposte from Naomi Datani. Callis has been clean bowled, and Yorkshire now are in quite a spot of bother. The Dutch international goes for a well-made 46 from 60. The home side 137 for 6 now. Still require 76 for the victory.
Yeah, good ball there from Naomi Datani, and it really emphasises the superiority at the moment that Hampshire have in this game. They're just on top and the pressure's mounting, and as a result it's just making it more and more difficult for Yorkshire to try and get up with the run rate, and they're taking chances that are just not there really. Good ball coming round the wicket. Interesting line from Naomi Datani. She's coming round the wicket as a left armer and firing it in at that off stump, and accurately as that, because she hit that off stump.
She's been brilliant, hasn't she, in the past few overs, as Datani. Plenty of experience, showcasing all of that to great effect. Into bat now for Yorkshire will be Beth Langston. For the rest of the order, still the likes of Claudie Cooper, Jess Woolston and Grace Hall are the remaining batters in the shed for the White Rose. Feels like this would be almost a real partnership though. Langston is known for those big hits. Here she is facing off against Datani. Starts off by flicking that behind square. Should at least be 1, if not 2. Langston turns on a penny piece. Has to come back quickly. Indeed, she does.
Yeah, she made hard work of that because she didn't turn. She didn't push and turn. She sort of came up to the non-striker's end and then took her time to have a look before she got motoring again. And she'll know that that's not the best way of running between the wickets. And you're right, I think this could be the last main batting partnership that Yorkshire have. She's worked it round there again, and hopefully this time she'll turn and go quickly, and she's done that much better this time, so she's able to just saunter down the other end, and that's what she didn't do with the first one. So good player is Beth Langston, good understanding of where to put the ball, when to run to.
That's the other thing, hasn't had to go aerial. Thing is, though, at this stage of the game, Yorkshire need boundaries. Winston strides into the drive. Will be a dot ball to round out the over. So another successful one for the Rose and Crown of Hampshire. Yorkshire 141 for 6. They still require 72 runs for the victory. Just 4 wickets still remaining. Just looking here, it will be Bex Tyson. Wants a bowl yet again from the City ends.
We've got a good variety of bowlers, have Hampshire, with the left arm seam, left arm spin, right arm leg spin, right arm seam, right arm off spin. You know, they've got everything that you would want in a balanced side, and used it to good effect. You know, the experience of somebody like Georgie Adams knows how to manoeuvre her troops, knows where to place the field, and she's done it very well today.
Yeah, she has. Such an invaluable quality the all-rounder possesses. That is astute leadership. That one, plenty of flight. Ward tries to biff it down the grounds. And guess who's there with the catch? It's Georgia Adams. Takes it comfortably at mid-on. Maddie Ward has to depart for 2 runs. Yorkshire, well, it's going to be very, very difficult from this situation. The White Rose 141 for 7. As for Bex Tyson, she continues to impress immensely with the ball in hand.
Yeah, disappointed for Maddie there, because she didn't give herself chance and just tried to go down the ground, but had not really seen much of Tyson yet, and just didn't quite get there or middle it. And as a result, it went straight to Georgie Adams at mid-on. So replacing her at the crease is Claudie Cooper. Go from one orange pair of shoes to the other orange pair of shoes. In my day, you all had to wear white. It had to be clean white. Mind you, you also had white pads and white clothing, so, you know, it's quite nice to see the colours. The 2 in orange shoes, Claudie Cooper and Maddie Ward. Maddie Ward just out and Claudie Cooper in.
Cooper, more of a bowler, of course, compared to a batter. Someone who can definitely pick those gaps, though, in terms of strike rotation. Certainly do a good job in that capacity.
Yeah.
When it comes to power hitting, that's where it might be a little bit more dangerous. Looks to sweep that one around the corner. Wellington cuts off the scoring avenue.
Yeah, and that was a good shot, and that's why I was talking about Georgie Adams and field placings, because a good shot, but he went literally straight to Amanda Jade Wellington at fine leg, a short fine leg.
That one is aerial swept. It may have found the gap. Chase on here for Daisy Gibb. There's a little bit of a collision as well between her and McCacken.
Yeah, she's contributing well in this game, Daisy Gibb. She's bowled well and she's fielded well. She cut off 3 or 4 boundaries now, and that's a very athletic fielder out on the deep.
Halved away through point by Cooper for 1.
Yeah, nice shot. For a number 9 batter, that's 2 good shots. Well, 3 good shots. The sweep round to fine leg, then the one out to deep mid-wicket, and then the back foot shot through into the covers. That's all you can ask for with your number 9.
Langston now, split second thought about going for the aggressive option instead. Guides it on the deck towards McCacken for 1. Well, that's the thing with Claudie Cooper. She can bat. It's just a case of boundaries towards the ends of the innings, but that isn't her role within the side. I think it would be a miss of the home side to really expect that from her every single game. But in terms of strike rotation, in terms of just hitting those 1s and 2s, as again looks to tickle that one fine.
And a good run from Beth Langston, who was ready for that one and just backed up well and took the single.
That'll be a leg by then to finish the over. After 32, Yorkshire 146 for 7. We'll have a quick change here as well in the commentary box. We shall bid a fond farewell to Dr. Jane Powell for the time being. And on in her place will be Michael McCann. So 6 overs remain. Yorkshire require 67 as for Hampshire. Well, they know 3 more wickets. They seal the game. Continue to apply the pressure on the Blaze.
Yeah, we've got a game on here. Run rate getting a bit big on Yorkshire as Cooper can hit it straight to short mid-wicket. Yorkshire will fear that not for the first time this season a loss of wicket in clumps might cost them the contest, and I guess these are the growing pains of Yorkshire coming up into Tier 1 cricket. And very competitive in their 7 games so far. Tani this time bangs it in. People will get 1, but Yorkshire needs so much more than singles at this point. Tani, the experienced campaigner's experienced campaigner. Someone that has so much to offer. It's quite astonishing to think she's 32. I really had to double check that. She's been a vet, studied sports science at Loughborough Uni. Come right through all these different eras of women's cricket, as is Langston, who she's bowling to. Langston will want to here. Well, I was going to say probably got to come back given the situation, but actually looking at the throw, it would have been a definite run out. Tani playing for Surrey Stars 2016, KSL with Western Storm 2018, Sunrisers 2020 to 22, Thunder in 23 and 24, who were effectively kind of Lancashire. And then Hampshire last season, but she had the loan move to the home county of Middlesex for a few games when trying to get fitness back. Banged in, absolutely crashed away. Fielded out there. Hampshire's ground fielding has been excellent.
Yeah, it has from start to finish. Really has been a calling card really for the visitors today. Also spoke about the Blaze there. We have had the first results here on Wednesday. The Blaze have beaten Somerset by 6 wickets down in Devon, Exmouth Cricket Club. The stage sets for that game. So the Blaze continue their fine form.
Hard down the ground and wide of mid-on, and will, despite the slow bobbly outfield, almost go for 4, but Wellington does the fielding. It's another one that's held up slightly on the result conditions. You sidestep the Blaze are blazing sort of pun. Come on, Aaron, it's obvious. They're top of the league. They've just won to go 6 from 7. Full and clear. Hampshire need a win here to try and keep up with them. Of course, bonus points also a factor. 4 points for a win, 2 points for a no result or a tie, nothing for a loss, and you get an extra point if you're winning. Your net run rate is 1.25 times better than your opponents. It's flipped around the corner. Will be more runs. It might be 4 of them. It is 4 of them. Gorgeous shot from Langston. That's a decent over for Yorkshire. It goes for 9. It's still quite not actually enough of what they need, but it's something.
It is, but this is the problem now, isn't it? The fact is, it's not a case of one boundary needing 2 or 3 single over from this point onwards. Also, speaking of, well, sides who desperately need wins, let's go to Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club, where Warwickshire are 183 for 6 after 35 overs against Lancashire. Ooh. So the Bears need 44 runs off 42 deliveries with 4 wickets remaining. That one going down to the wire.
Yeah, and whoever wins that could potentially go above a clutch of teams, could go above Somerset, Essex and Yorkshire in a very tightly packed middle part of the table, or we might well in between change of overs soon give you a look at that table. Sweeping, and sweeping pretty well is Cooper. One out to deep backward square. At the start of the day, Somerset were 4th, but you could split Somerset in 4th, Essex in 5th, Yorkshire 6th, Lancashire 7th, and Warwickshire in 8th, and Durham in 9th by just 3 points, those 6 teams. Albeit some had played more games than others. So all of them were split by less than a win. That's taken away by Langston. Going to come back for 2. It's Good hard running. Well, she's actually run out. Well, it always looked like the danger was going to be Langston at the keeper's end, but it's Cooper who's ended up getting run out at the bowler's end, coming back for the second. 157 for 8. It's a really good throw, and Cooper just ends up a yard or so short. So it's very neat work from Hampshire in the field. 157 for 8 then, and Yorkshire have lost another one.
They have, and on that occasion, I think it was just the hesitation from Cooper at the striker's ends. You can just see she was looking back to Langston, wondering if they wanted to take the second. You'll see it here, there.
Yeah.
That's the indecision, and that in the end has cost Yorkshire the 8th wicket. So, as you said, a smart piece of fielding to get the run out in the first place. As for Yorkshire now, trying to get beyond the white rose. As we just see the table there, it's incredibly close, isn't it?
Yeah, that group from 4th down to 9th. Now, this is before any confirmed result from today, so that doesn't include the fact that Somerset have just lost against Blaze. So Somerset now have 3 wins and 4 defeats, and that means that if any of Yorkshire, Essex, Lancashire, Warwickshire or Durham were to win today, they'd go above the West Country outfit in that table. And Blaze have extended their lead at the top, but Hampshire will hope to rein them back in. That's a dot to start the new over. Southby's caught that right on the end of the fingers and is ringing that like it hurts. On the track is Langston. Headed straight to point. Direct hit looks very close to me. I was going to say direct hit I think is out. We're absolutely not in line here. We're at deep backward square. That must have been very tight indeed. Umpire Gareth Cross says that Langston had just about made her ground. Grace Hall to face up for the first time in a competitive senior game for Yorkshire in more than a year since her shoulder injury. And she's skying that up and just short of Wellington. Gets off the mark in the most fortuitous of circumstances. Yorkshire slightly riding their luck in this over, I might say. I'm saying as well, I don't think the Blaze got the bonus point in that game against Somerset because they didn't complete the chase until almost the 40th over. That's hit hard down the ground. That's a lovely straight and true shot. One of the shots of the day from Beth Langston. Very capable batter and shows it there. So it's a boundary to end the over. 163 for 8 with 4 left.
Even so, I think Bex Tyson has bowled really well today. Finishes with 2 for 41 from her 8 overs and got those wickets at a crucial time in the game. So I think she can be very pleased with her day's work here at Clifton Park. Yorkshire 163 for 8, quiet 50 in the remaining 4 overs.
Time for heroes, eh? Here you go, Grace Hall. You spent a year out with a shoulder op, shoulder rehab. You're back playing. You're a bowler by trade. Do you fancy chasing 50 to win off the last 4, Grace? She'll give it a good go. And this is the ground that means so much to her. She grew up just a few minutes' drive away from here. I know when she got a couple of wickets here last season against Leicestershire, she said that it was one of her most special days as a professional cricketer. She's facing Georgia Adams, back after a month out with a quadricep injury. Someone who is ice cool under the pressure with her very straight wicket-to-wicket off-spin. Giving that a right good thump for 1. Solidly fielded by McCack, and they're going to come back for 2, and it's good running, and it's got to be in this situation.
Well, it does, but by my maths, even running 2 every single ball will get Yorkshire just short.
Yep, your 2 times table's working well. Love that.
That's a relief.
Off the outside edge. There's nobody behind square on the offside, so this could be 2 more. 2 more from... 2 a ball from here, and they finish 1 run short. That'd be a hell of a game. Just on the note of that game between Lancashire and Somerset and Blaze, I think, actually, having thought about it, they have got the bonus point. Just. I think their run rate is just about good enough. Might need to double check that. As Adams is beating the bat of Hall. Because you've got to be 1.25 better than your opponents, and they've done it with 10.5 overs to spare. And now, sort of doubting my math. Is right in that kind of border. Anyway, Blaze have got 4 points or 5.
That one should be 2 here. Indeed it will be. Just looking at that scorecard as well between the Blaze and Somerset. Tammy Beaumont, 99 not out.
Yeah, you can't beat a bit of class, and I'm sure there's a bit of Tammy Beaumont that wants to prove a little point with that England World Cup squad. Well, that's lolloped up into a gap. That's another bit of fortune for Hall, who's living something of a charmed life. Hampshire won't mind this too much, though, in the sense that that required run rate is getting big on them.
It's getting very, very close at Southport. Warwickshire now need 35 off 32. That one whisked away, square of the wicket by Beth Langston for 1.
Yeah, she's unfortunate in the situation she's come into here, but Beth Langston has actually batted very, very nicely for her 19-12. She's won some classy shots in here. Yorkshire will fear it's too little, too late, though. 171 for 8 then, with 3 overs left in the contest.
From the city end, Amanda
And Yorkshire do something remarkable, just about hanging on to the coattails of this run chase.
Well, it would be something very special, wouldn't it? Exactly 14 runs and over. The 2 times table is on point, so too is the 14s. Or the 3s, depending on perspective.
Exactly. Amanda J. Wellington is back. They've saved one of their last aces up their sleeve to be able to play now, Hampshire. Wizard Wello, 1 for 27 off her 7. She's got 1 left, and this is it. And has Langston in all sorts of trouble, and she's a bit of a baby-faced assassin, Amanda Jade Wellington. She's not someone for the sledge. That's not really her style. She just lets the ball do the talking. She's got a real aura about her, though. That's just helped round the corner by Langston for 1. They are going to eventually come back for 2. And it's tight, and it's not out, but umpire Juliet Jarvis decided that was just the moment to go for a scratch of the nose, which only added to the drama. Well, some of you might have seen this. It actually happened in a Somerset game involving JV Overton not too many days ago, and this wasn't entirely dissimilar, and I think Southby's having a good laugh about it as the wicketkeeper. We certainly are here, as is few people from the coaching teams of both sides around us. It's quite the time for umpire Jarvis to decide that the nose needed a good scratch. Oh dear. Here's Langston. Inside out, and that's misfielded by Datani in the covers. They are going to come back for 2 again. And they are going to get the 2 thanks to the desperate dive of Hall.
Well, the thing with this partnership, even if Yorkshire are to ultimately fall short, of course, is net run rate.
Of course.
Given how tight it is in the one-day cup, as that one just evades Southby, runs down towards the rugby ground. Should be 2 here, indeed it will be. Grace Hall actually thinks about coming back for a 3rd, but I don't think it was ever on. 2 by signal by Gareth Cross, the standing umpire. Every single one of these runs could be gold dust later on in the campaign. Hampshire today have bowled very well indeed. Here is Wellington to Langston, smeared away through point for 1. Heading into the season, it was one of the big questions surrounding the Rose and Crown. How would they favour, or fare, I should say, without the Big England internationals? So far today, they've fared incredibly well indeed. This time advances, plays that one through mid-wicket for the single. End of the over. Yorkshire 179 for 8. Partnership moves on to 22. White Rose, though, still requiring 34 runs for the victory from the remaining 2 overs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right to make that point with that England quartet, Aaron. I think the only tiny counter, if you're putting your Yorkshire hat on, is that while she's not away with England, Sarah Glenn's broken finger means that Yorkshire still, to their disappointment, haven't seen her make her debut for them. You know, she's been very much at the ground, involved in the camp. They had a bit of a Wild West themed dress-up social night last week, which she was taking full participation in. They're yet to get to see the delight of her talents on the pitch, and Glenn was arguably, alongside Jonathan, Yorkshire's kind of big marquee signing of their Tier 1 era. But from a Hampshire perspective, I think, assuming they do go on to win this game from here, you're absolutely delighted. You know, it's banana skin isn't quite the right word, but you're facing a newly promoted team who've been extremely competitive in their first 6 games. Yorkshire could easily have had quite a few more than the 2 wins they've already got so far, and a tie. And ultimately, Hampshire have exerted the pressure that has caused Yorkshire from 62 without loss to steadily lose wickets that has left them in this position. Daisy Gibb, young seamer, who's bowled magnificently. She deserves a wicket. She hasn't got one yet. Maybe this is her time. And she gets a dot ball, which is almost equally precious at this point. These are the kind of games that will make someone like Gibb just grow a little taller in that Hampshire shirt next time she pulls it on Friday, when Hampshire continue their magical mystery tour of the North and the Midlands as they head to Trent Bridge, their second away game in 3 days. Just losing a line there.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game, isn't it, on Friday? Battle of what's appearing to be first versus second. Incredibly well-balanced sides as well.
Yeah, plenty of time for it to be changed, but right now they're sort of streaking clear at the top of the table, particularly with both of those 2 winning today and then this big pack forming underneath them. Well, that's come off the trusty outside edge, so Hull will get 4 in the most fortuitous of circumstances, and that just about keeps Yorkshire alive here. 29 to win off 10.
It's one of those that just falls into the gap down towards the 3rd. Was it intentionally placed by Grace Hall, but it doesn't matter how these runs come.
Hey, look, every club cricketer across the world has used that shot many times at some points, some more than others. Yeah, they all count, it's 4 in the book. At this point in particular, Yorkshire will not care how. And Hall keep the dream alive. The first professional innings of the season. She's looking very good. She's got at least 1 out to deep cover. She's going to take on the second and has managed to make it back. 27 to win off 9.
Yeah, just needed a slightly better throw there towards Southby. Keeper, full stretch, or just did enough to make her ground.
One thing that has been a bit of an unfortunate theme of the season for Yorkshire, I mentioned it before, those collapses: 6 for 69 against Somerset, 8 for 70 against Surrey, 6 for 45 against Lancashire, 6 for 62 against Durham before that last wicket partnership recovered them to get a tie, 6 for 56 in the defeat against Essex. Well, credit to Hall and Langston, because they've said not on our watch. Giving Hampshire a right old go. That's a slow ball full toss. It's got that all wrong, Gibb. And they want to this time, but Langston, the more experienced of the two, just puts her hand up and says, no, Grace, I can't that time. And I think it was a good decision. I think that one really would have been a definite run out.
Oh, 100%. At this stage, though, Langston just needs to throw the bat at everything. 26 required from 8.
Two have kept things alive for Yorkshire. They've already added 30 for the 9th. And that will grow even more here. Down the ground towards Wellington. And Hall wanted to, but Langston said no. I think Hall would have made it there at the danger end, albeit the game does always look easy from the commentary box up here. On 8 for 8, 25 to win off 7. And quietly, Langston and Hall are making this very, very interesting. A few of the Hampshire hierarchy away to my right who were sweating a little more than they were 15 minutes ago. Slower ball from Gibb. Dumped out to deep square leg. It will be 1 and 1 is all it will be. So Hall will keep the strike. It's a very good over for Yorkshire. I mean, of course, in a literal sense, they need even more. But 10 off the over at least keeps them just about in the contest going to the last. They'd have loved another boundary just to pull it a little closer. It's 24 to win from 6 deliveries. And who are you going to call in a situation like that? Ghostbusters aren't available.
You beat me to it.
You're going to call Georgia Adams. Give me some stump to stump. I know it might not turn a million miles, but it doesn't need to. Bowl to your field. Wicket to wicket. She's done this so many times before. And she do it again.
We have got a bit of an update from Southport. Warwickshire require 10 runs off 16 balls with 4 wickets remaining. So that could be a very big victory for the Bears as Adams bowls here. Up first to Grace Hall on the reverse. He's slowing down a little bit down towards the deep third boundary. Or just be 2.
Yeah, that sodden outfield has not been Yorkshire's friend. While the weather looks glorious now, it was so poor earlier on that it has made things turn quite a few 4s into 2s. 22 to get off 5. Hall has batted magnificently for her 19 so far. It's just steadily slipping away from Yorkshire. Down the track, Langston has managed to get that slightly wide of long off. They want 2. They're in a bit of confusion. They don't come back for the second in the end. Langston makes her ground, but it's only 1. And it's 20 to win off 3. So now Georgia Adams just has to bowl 3 legitimate deliveries. And Hampshire will be home. And they will head to Trent Bridge on Friday with 5 wins from 6 completed games. Of course, that no result at Warwickshire as well. He just has to keep her composure. Makes room. Straight to short fine leg though. Throw was a little bit errant from Tyson, but backing up is fine. 19 to win from 2. Bar something pretty astonishing. Hampshire have seen this one out. On track comes Langston. Moves this straight to deep mid-wicket. They are going to come back for 2, and they make it home. So it's 17 to win from the last. I think it's worth saying, no matter what happens off this last ball, a massive credit goes to Hampshire for how well they fought back from Yorkshire being 62 without loss, but also to this pair who've put on an unbroken stand of 39 for the last wicket. So here is the last ball, and it is a legitimate delivery. Langston has managed to make her ground. Southby looks frustrated she hasn't got the stumping. And it is ultimately the end of the game. It's 196 for 8 that Yorkshire finish on. Southby looks frustrated that she hasn't got the stumping. But it is given as not out. Hampshire take the points. They stay on Blaze's toes in second in the Metrobank One Day Cup. They've played 7, they've won 5. 1 loss, 1 no result. Disappointment for Yorkshire, 2 wins and a tie from 7 for them now. A really intriguing game of cricket, Aaron Viles, but ultimately Hampshire just turned the screw at the right moments, and it's why they've taken victory.
They did. It was that collapse, wasn't it? From 62 for none to 86 for 3. Just almost buckled the knees of Yorkshire today, but has been a really, really good day of cricket. Thankful that the weather did not play spoil sport, and look, Hampshire, the worthy victors. So Yorkshire will look to bounce back on Saturday, the 16th of May against Warwickshire. A reminder as well, it is County Cricket Day, so There is not any charge on the ticket admission. It is free entry to North Marine Road, so if you're in the area on Saturday, please do join us. But yeah, as for today, Hampshire continue in their fine form. Yorkshire need a result on the weekend.
Yeah, all the more reason to get along to Scarbados if you can. But for now, from here at York, from yours truly, Michael McGann, from Aaron Vars, from Dr. Jane Powell, who was along earlier on, from Nathan, Adrian, and all the hard-working streaming team behind the scenes, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage behind the scenes. We'll be looking forward to being with you on Saturday for that game against Warwickshire at Scarborough. We'll see if Yorkshire can bounce back then. But for now, here on Yorkshire TV, from a now thankfully sunny York, after a day where we got a great game of cricket and eventually, despite the rain, it's goodbye.